everyone, and welcome back to the Crafty Meraki YouTube channel. Today we are going to have a look at a Sweet Tweet Effortless Artistry Paper. So this video is a little bit longer. We are going to go over quite a lot, but I just wanted to take a minute to show you all the colorings in this booklet before we go straight to die cutting all of the pieces out. So if you haven't seen this already, or if you're new to Crafty Meraki, this actually comes as a stamp set. If you like coloring, get the stamp set, and then the die cuts will fit both the stamp set and also the pre-colored images. So you can see on the back, one of the sets is actually on in this paper pack, but yes, so these are super easy to use. If you are not into coloring, this is the thing for you. So you will need a die cutting machine unless you like fussy cutting. So I have actually recently, somewhat begrudgingly, ordered a Platinum 8.5. So this is the big monster machine from Spellbinders. So I am going to use this beautiful rainbow colored image, and then I'm going to use the coordinating die cuts to cut all of these out. So I'm going to try to do as many of these images as I can in one go. If you are slightly unsure, or if you're a little bit worried that your dies are going to shift, you can just secure them with a little bit of low-tack washi tape or post-it tape or something like that. I am going to try to be, I'm going to live on the wild side here, and I'm just going to try to run this through. But you can see that I did not run the whole thing through because some of them shifted. So I pulled them back, and I'm going to do this again. Now, you might notice I have a huge bandage on my hand, and I was a klutz, and I scraped the ever-loving SHIT out of my hand. So, unfortunately, I do have to wear a big, huge plaster, but these are the birdies, and we are going to take all of our images, and then we're also going to take our sentiments here. So, if you have a cheap laminator, use that. There's no need to buy a Mink machine. If you do not have this, a Mink machine is basically just a super pretty laminator. That is what it is. Let's call it what it is. So, I'm going to foil these sentiments. Because these are laser printed, you can actually foil your images. So I have here a custom cut sleeve. So this is actually a 12 by 12 sleeve that I've cut down because I also have, because I have a problem, I do have the large Mink machine, and this is the mini Mink. But you know, that's neither here nor there. So I am going to take a little bit of this beautiful rainbow foil from Thermo Web. So this is like Deco Foil. So it's a very specific foil, and you need this type of foil. So like a Deco Foil instead of a Glimmer Hot Foil for this type of foiling. So please bear that in mind. If you are brand new to foiling, there's a couple of different foils, and not every foil is created for every single project. So if you are printing like I'm doing right now, you do need this kind of heat transfer foil that reacts with a toner. If you are wanting to use a Glimmer hot foil machine that also kind of embosses your images, that is a completely different system. So make sure you know what you have, so that you don't get disappointing results. So here we are going to run this through our very fancy laminator, aka the mini Mink machine, and I have I'm pretty sure that this is on like setting 3, so that worked really well. I was slightly unsure because I haven't actually tried this type of foiling a huge amount, so I was very pleasantly surprised at how well that worked. So if you have a Mink machine, setting 3 worked great. Just say. So as you can see, super shiny, lovely and fun, but you know, they're all in one block. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little mini trimmer, and we are going to trim these down, because we are, you know, we're going to try to use all of them because we don't like waste. Crafty waste is one of the worst waste after food waste. So here I'm gonna just trim down every single one. I'm not obviously gonna use every single sentiment on the cards that I'm gonna be making today, but it will save time later on when maybe you're in a rush. So another big plus of the Effortless Artistry Paper packs, which is the EAPs, is that if you need to have a card done in minutes, this is the thing for you. Yes, 100%. Now, if you're one of those people like me that sometimes like to just sit down and color, you know, get the stamp set, just saying. But when it comes to speed, you cannot beat the EAP packs for sure. Okay, so here are, okay, so they disappeared. But I got my sentiments ready, and then we are gonna work on a couple of backgrounds. So I've got two mini slimline die cutting pieces out. So I've got the bar none, and then also these frame worthy pieces. So I'm going to make a couple of backgrounds. So I'm getting my monster machine back out. Sorry, I mean the platinum 8.5. And we are going to cut out a piece with, so this is just normal white cardstock. It's quite, I think it's Nina 110 pounds, so it's quite nice and sturdy. So we're going to run this through our die cutting machine, and I'm going to go through once and then twice, or like go forward and then backwards to make sure that I get a nice cut. So because this is quite thick cardstock. And then I'm going to use a little bit of press and seal to make sure that the pieces stay inside. So this, you know, is not a necessary step. You can actually puzzle these pieces together once you remove them. So if you don't have press and seal, don't worry. Again, not necessary. You can use a little bit of washi tape again if you want, but you know, it's not a requirement for sure. So here I thought I had a couple of little ideas. So I got some greenish and bluish inks out, and then I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try something here. So I got another piece of press and seal out because, you know, can't have too many, can you? But I cut this one for an A2 card, so I've had to apply it at an angle, and then I'm going to turn it over basically so it's facing upwards again. And then I'm going to take the frame part off. So I'm going to try to leave all of the pieces on the press and seal. So it takes a little bit of finagling because, you know, the press and seal is a little bit sticky. But here we are, we got all of those pieces together. And then I thought, you know what we're going to do is we're going to get a bunch of blending brushes out. And then we're going to add a little bit of green onto these. And I think this is where I thought it was going to be like a super, super good idea to leave them on the press and seal because they're not going to be flopping about and this and that. But I think, you know, you could probably manage without doing this step if you feel like it's a bit fussy, because it was a little bit fussy, not gonna lie. But I've implemented a little bit of green on one side, so a little bit of twisted citron and mowed grass, and then a little bit of salvaged patina on the other side. So I'm going in like first with a light layer and then adding a little bit more for that opaqueness on one side. And then we're gonna set this aside because at this point I'm like, okay, well this looks pretty, but what do I do now? So we are going to go back to our frame, and then I'm going to get a little bit of Uncharted Mariner. And this is one of my favorite blues. It's such a great shade of blue. I love it. So I'm just kind of ink blending a little bit around the edges here. And I think the whole point or the idea was to kind of make like a bit of a sky and have a almost like fluffy cloud look. I honestly don't know sometimes when I start crafting, like where things are gonna go. It's just kind of like ideas take over, and then I try a lot of things, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. But you know, here, luckily for me, because I've seen the end result, I know that it did work out. But at this point I was like, okay, now what? Do I put the green and the salvage patina pieces in, or do I leave it like this? I really wasn't sure. So I decided to like just put that one aside and kind of think about it for a little bit. So I thought, okay, you know what, here, what we're going to do is we are going to take our die cut yet again. I know. It is going to seem crazy. But we're going to take these die cut pieces and then we're going to pop them back into there because I really wanted them to go exactly where they're supposed to go. So I'm going to puzzle them back in where where they originally were supposed to go. And the reason I took that one out is because it didn't really fit on the present seal. So I had to move it from the top onto into like the middle. But we're gonna put these back in here, and the reason we're gonna do this, and I know it looks messy right now, but we're gonna line these up so that they're kind of, you know, perfect. And the reason I'm doing this is so that they will basically end up, once I've added some glue, liquid glue, always liquid glue, we're going to take that piece of cardstock that you see under my plastered hand. We're gonna place that on top, and then everything is gonna go perfectly placed, centered. Is it centered? Okay, maybe just, you know, we'll skip the talking and let's just watch. Yep, still with me? Like that. This is what I was trying to get to. So now we have two backgrounds, and I thought, okay, right, so now what? Now what? You know, because now I'm committed. You know, these two are, you know, there's going to be two cards for sure. So I really, really like this one. I like this one a lot better than the other one right now, which I was not expecting. I was not expecting that at all. But here we are. So we're going to trim off that last bit of white at the top there, and then we're going to try to like figure out, okay, so I think it's like right here. Is that? Okay, well, we're committed now. We're cutting. So these are about 3.5 inches by 6 inches. And then we're puzzling because, you know, we cut out this frame, so, you know, we got to use it, right? So I think here I was like, okay, all right. So I think an idea is formulating now. I think I've got it. Yes, I think I've got it. So, but then I was like, oh, do I really? No, let's put that one aside. And now I'm like, okay, is it too white? Is it too much white? Yeah, let's add a little bit more blue, because when is adding more blue a bad thing? So we're going to splatter a little bit of blue on this to kind of make it, again, a little bit more kind of sky looking, I guess. But then I was like, oh, does it look like it's raining now? It probably looks like it's raining, but oh well, again, I've done it now, so there's no going back. So here I decided, okay, now I'm not going to glue anything down. I'm going to puzzle until I'm happy with how everything is going to go. And I really did try to put all of the birdies on there, because I thought, well, you know, if you're going to go rainbow, let's go rainbow, like all of them. And this took a lot of puzzling. I even did some puzzling like off screen as well. It's like, there's just got to be a way to fit all of this on here. But again, if you are new to my videos, you will not know this, but if you have seen a few of my videos, you will know that it's always a bit of a roller coaster in Erica's craft room. So, you know, I can't help it. It's just the way I am. I'm not one of these people that plan out my cards to perfection and then, you know, remake that card. It just, no. So that's where you get these roller coaster videos where anything can happen. And sometimes everything does happen. But I decided, you know what? Okay, so the branches are going to have to go at the bottom because, you know, that's where trees and leaves and things go. And then, would you believe it? I managed to refit everything where I planned it out. And I didn't take a photo. Ha! I was very proud of myself for that one. Yes. So these ones I have stuck down with a little bit of foam tape. Some of them, not all of them actually, because I wanted some like the sun and the flying bird, of course, you know, with a little bit of foam tape, and some just had to kind of have a little bit of liquid. So, you know, there's a little bit of both. And I really think this turned out so cute, but maybe I should have gone for, instead of the green, I should have gone for like another bluish color on the bars. But you know what? Maybe I can kind of, you know, blow that off as like that's like the leafy canopy on a tree or something like that. But so that is one finished and committed. We're done now. You know, these are all glued down, so there's no coming back. And then I thought, you know what? I have to have more for the other card because I used up all of the pieces that I used on the other one. So we're going to go and use this one because these colors are working really well with our background. So this is kind of the same-ish shade of blue that is on the coloring. And then that yellow just gives a really nice contrast. So just gives that extra bit of interest. And I may have cut out a huge amount of these images. And I also used some previously foiled sentiments, but I used champagne foil on these ones instead, because I thought that would work a little bit better than rainbow ones for this one. So I decided to use one of the sentiments. At one point I was like, oh, maybe I can put two, but no, that wasn't working at all. So here there is a huge amount of puzzling. I was going back and forth and like, oh, I feel like I need to have this piece and I need to have the sun and, you know, I need to have some birdies and maybe I'll put the flowers on here and use some of these and some of that. And yes, so this process probably, I would say, took even longer than the first card. So there was a lot of going back and forwards with this one. But I think it's important to do that so that you can see variations and options. And then if you're unsure of which one you like the best, take a photo and then you compare them next to each other. So if you try like 3 different versions, take photos of them and then you compare and you see, okay, what works and what doesn't work and what do I like and what don't I like. You don't have to commit until you add that glue. You do not have to commit to a design. No, you do not. So I knew I really liked this layout. So here again, I am with my trusted press and seal. And we are going to press down and we're going to pick all of these pieces up. And then we're going to turn this over and add liquid glue to all of this. So all of these pieces are going to be added down flattish-ish. Directly to the card. So again, using lots of lovely liquid glue. This is the Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive, and you can find that in the Crafty Meraki store. This is my go-to glue. I really, really like it. It works so great. It does say you should leave it to cure for 24 hours, but I hardly ever do. It still gives you a few seconds to put your piece where you want it to go, and if it's not quite in the perfect position, you can still move it before it sets. But I feel like it's within 5 minutes it is dry and it's not going anywhere. So my 2 cents. So then when you have pressed these down and you can see there I moved that little birdie a little bit because it was just slightly off, and then I just remove the press and seal, and then we're going to move on to a little bit of bling. Because I have made some cards recently with no bling on, and I'm shocking myself. So I decided to use just a little touchy touch of some amazing Meraki gems on these 2 cards. So on the rainbow card, I had to use the unicorn mix, of course. And on this one here, the one to the left, so the bluish yellow one, I have used a Celeste green because I felt like that kind of worked really, really well. So these are amazing gems. I absolutely love the Crafty Meraki gems. They are just fantastic. And I have just used a jewel picker to put these on. And then, here I've gone to I followed the color of the birdies to try to match that a little bit. And I feel like it's, subtle enough, but it's a birthday card, so it should be a little bit sparkly. So these are the unicorn magic gems. And then for this one here, I have gone a little bit heavier, yes. But, again, I feel like it works. It works well with the splatters. It works with the colors. And yeah, Celeste green. I did have a Celeste blue, I think, as well, but I dropped it. Oh, I nearly cried. But that is it from me for today. I really, really hope you have enjoyed this slightly longer video and process, and I will see you soon again. Bye for now.